Well, good morning, everybody. I want to welcome you to Woodbridge Township's government here. This is our normal Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock staff meeting with all the directors. We do this every week. I'm going to let you guys, why don't we start, you guys introduce yourselves, starting all the way on the left. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Serena Edica, and I'm from John F. Kennedy Memorial High School.
All right.
Hi, my name is Jake Carbone. I'm from Woodbridge High School.
Hi, I'm Gracie Graybiel from Colonia High School.
Hi, I'm Liana Lucas from Woodbridge High School.
Hi, I'm Ben Sackles from St. Thomas Aquinas.
Hi, my name is Angelis Benamato, and I'm from Woodbridge High School.
Hi, my name is Leslie Beth Rodriguez, and I'm from Colonia High School.
Hi, my name is Sukanya Dubey, I'm from John F. Kennedy. Hi, my name is Darshna Shah, and I'm from John F. Kennedy Memorial High School.
Hi, I'm Sophia Grosso, and I'm from Colonia High School.
All right, we'll go around too. My name is John McCormick. I'm the mayor.
I'm Vito Simaluka, I'm the business administrator.
I'm Marta Darden, I'm the director of planning and development.
David Koloczynski, health officer.
John Mitch, township clerk.
Manny Fernandez, CFO. Brian Molnar, recreation director.
Michelle Morgan, Department of Senior Services.
Bob Hubner, police director.
George Root, public works director.
Casey Wagner, deputy business administrator.
Megan Kushba, deputy communications director.
Carolyn Ehrlich, chief of staff.
So this is, again, as I say, we do this every Tuesday morning. When it's a council meeting at night, which is every other Tuesday, we go through the council agendas. You guys have a copy of this, right? So you can, you know? Oh, all right. Well, anyway, each council person keeps like a to-do list. And every meeting they go through it and they'll look at the list and see something. I should talk about this, I can skip this. So we go through their agendas, so we're prepared for tonight. You want to do that up first?
Absolutely.
All right, so go ahead.
All right.
Vito runs these meetings.
So we're going to go over council agendas. It's Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. All right, first we'll start with Council President Kyle Anderson.
Who's Kyle? Oh, there you are, right there. Nope, you are. Young lady, you're Kyle. You're the council president. Yes. Yeah, you're running the meeting. You're in charge. You're running the meeting.
Okay.
No, you're okay.
All right.
For Kyle's agenda, we added to the job bank. WIC is looking for a whole different group of people to serve from construction to management on their projects.
Very good. Brian, you got him tied in for the WTYRC?
Yes, yeah.
Is a flyer out?
Juneteenth is coming up. Kyle runs that program. Brian, I know you assist him in that. It's going to be at Woodbridge High School again?
Yeah, it's going to be at Woodbridge High School. We have a meeting set up with them, I believe, next week. Cindy was setting that up. The band contract's already been signed. I'll process the check for that, so he'll have that for the event.
Very good.
Got your flyer with the printer?
Yep. No, you didn't look at it, not the flyer. But we started advertising Juneteenth. You didn't finalize it.
Oh, didn't yet? Okay.
No, yeah, so
All
we will today.
You're adding Taylor?
We added Taylor, yeah.
All right. So our first concert's really cool. It's called Simply Taylor, Totally Taylor.
Let's sing with Taylor.
Let's Sing Taylor.
Let's Sing Taylor.
So it's a Taylor Swift cover band. I saw the picture of the singer. She's a dead ringer for Taylor Swift. I hope she can sing as good. But we have a whole bunch of concerts all summer. More free concerts than any town in the state of New Jersey, maybe farther than that. But we're kicking it off with one I think is going to be really cool because that's something that appeals to a demographic that you guys would understand more than we would. So that's we're kicking it off this Sunday, June 16th, right?
16th.
At 3 o'clock. And then we do country night, we do rock and roll night, we do doo-wop night, local band night, eclectic group night. We do literally, in the summer series, probably 70 shows, and when you add all the other free shows we do, it's over 100. Here we go, this is our music page. Yeah, over 100 free concerts, so that's something we're very, very proud of.
Anything else on Council President Anderson?
Not agenda. I spoke to Dave just about the chicken licensing, so he's going to send me the ordinance and all the details just so he has it. He's asking.
Very good. And then you get that over to Council President. All right. Council Vice President Spiller.
that Corey asked, or the councilman asked for refreshing on the painting by the firehouse. That's scheduled.
Thanks, Director Hubbard.
We're joined by actually Councilman Greg Ficarra. He's on, who's Greg? Who's Ficarra?
Jay.
You are? You're him. You're the guy in the blue shirt.
If you're fortunate enough to look as good as he does at his age, you'll be great. All right.
So, Greg, one of the things I was going to bring up is the thing that the colleges are doing, the hospitals are doing, that survey, and what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know, should we bring that to the health department or what?
Yeah, I think we should, because even though that one is for Robert Wood Johnson St. Peter's, a lot of our folks do go there.
Right.
And I think any input from our community will be, well used by them. So that's the Community Health Improvement Plan, the CHIP they call it. So Hackensack Meridian will also be doing it. They all have to do it. But I think it's a great way for our community to have input as to what is important to them as far as health and health services.
Would you add that to your agenda and then work with the...
Sure.
Yeah. So Corey is the 3rd Ward Councilman, which is Avenel and Port Reading. Anybody from the 3rd Ward? The 2nd Ward is Howie He's Fords, Hopewell, and Caseby. The 1st Ward is Sharon She's, Woodbridge, Proper, and Seawarren. The 4th Ward is Vero, that's Menlo Park Terrace and Island, and then the 5th Ward is Debbie, that's Colonia. There's 5 Ward Council people that only represent their ward. And then there's 4 at-large council people that, like me, represent the whole town. They do everything. So Kyle, who spoke first, the president, he's an at-large councilman. Corey's a ward councilman, so when we get to each one, you'll know their agendas for the ward people tend to be specific to their wards. Like Corey, for example, has Avenel redevelopment, Sycamore Senior Center, Route 1, Route 35 redevelopment, things that are in his ward. But Kyle will have things that are generic, like concerts, and like the charity raffle, and like the Tooling Around program. He covers the whole town, as do 3 other at-large people.
Anything else on Council Vice President Spiller? Okay, speak kindly. Councilman Ficarra is up next. Brian, you have Councilman plugged in for the fireworks, so he can announce them, or it's going to be around the corner?
Yep, he'll be plugged in.
There was not a typo, it was inadvertent, but the newsletter says July 4th fireworks. Below it, it says July 3rd. So if you read it quick, you might think the 4th of July fireworks are on July 4th, but they're not.
Yeah, that's the one day off you gave us this summer.
I gave you a day off, yeah. Yeah, so we got to, as we use social media, we got to try to make sure people understand that.
Okay.
We should call it 4th of July fireworks, July 3rd.
Independence Day fireworks.
Independence Day fireworks.
Keep the shade out of it.
Yeah,
And for the council, we're on page 3, Councilman Ficarra. All right, Brian, how about so because Councilman Ficarra is the former AD for Perth Amboy High School, long time phys ed teacher, so a lot of his agenda is based on health and fitness. So he's a big health and fitness guy. He makes everybody do jumping jacks when he comes into the room. So if you look down his agenda, you'll see it's geared towards health and fitness, not only for youth, but for seniors.
You'll see number 5 is Heroes and Cool Kids. Any of you guys do that?
All right.
There you go.
Greg is the guy that brought that whole program to town. It was, I guess it was in Perth Amboy when he worked there, so he knew a lot about it. He brought it to Woodbridge, and it's been highly successful. As if you're in it, you probably know that.
All right, anything else on Councilman Ficarra?
That's it.
All right. Councilman Bauer.
So he says 2nd Ward, East Fords, Hopewell, and Casey. We should tell him about that portable,
Oh, the wheelchair?
yeah.
Do you want me to say so?
Just let him know we've got it. It's
Okay.
just constituent.
So, say that loud so that we're working.
Oh, yeah, it's just a simple thing. So he's got Highland Grove Swim Pool, which is an outdoor pool in Fords. We were out at an event on Saturday, at the autism walk, and there was a parent with a kid in a wheelchair, and she brought up to us that there's no wheelchair available at the pool that a kid can be put into, because you can't take a regular wheelchair. You've got to have one that's fitted for a pool, I guess it's like a plastic. Splash park, yeah, the spray park, not the pool, I'm sorry. The splash park. So we talked to George and Brian, and we're gonna get one. It was a very reasonable request, made a lot of sense. So Carol texted herself, and Monday morning got to work and saw the text, and emailed Brian and emailed George, and we're ordering one.
Right. One for each of our spray parks.
Right, we have 2 spray parks, right. It's a very
Reasonable.
sensible request.
Yep.
That you have something for your kid to go into the spray park.
So with that being said, make sure that the wheelchair lift is operable, tested, and ready to go.
Will do.
All right, hometown banners, George, are we ready to go right after we do the salute to the troops on Wednesday?
Yeah, so with the volume of banners that we have, we actually started putting some up today. And we have the rally, Hometown Heroes Rally, on Wednesday. And after that, we'll have every person we have available put banners up.
But you're not taking the ones down that are already up?
No. We're only putting a few up just to get a little ahead of it. But
right, okay.
all the new ones, I believe there's 80 new ones this year.
Really?
Wow.
It's quite a few.
We need more poles.
Yeah, we need more poles.
We don't have enough. Yeah, we're gonna have to double them up on poles.
You'll see these. They're hometown heroes banners, we call them. Anybody, you get a picture of your father, grandfather, grandmother, whatever, in a military uniform, and put it on the banner. We put it on our poles. A lot of towns have copied us since we started doing that. They're all over the place now.
So an example of one, Council President, when you walk outside, the mayor's father's right out in front of town hall. That one was put up this
Wonder how that happened.
So when you leave here today, you'll see the banners starting to go up.
And then the other one outside is a sad story. One of our police officers, one of the best cops I've ever seen, passed away from something connected to his military service, actually.
Yeah.
And his is prominently featured on the other side.
Absolutely.
And he used to run the youth academy.
He used to run the junior police academy, right?
All right, anything else on Councilman Bauer? Councilman Small, will he be here tonight?
Yes.
I got to fit him in on number 17.
Yeah, I'll catch them just on Conrail update. A lot's happened since I last told them, so just reading it.
Now, Brian, you got him plugged in on the pickleball courts?
Yep.
All right, we got more pickleball courts coming online in Pocheck fairly soon, once the construction's completed. Anything else on?
He should probably report on Cypress too. He hasn't reported on that in the meeting yet.
Okay.
Anything else on Councilman Small?
Just Vito, an update on Pocheck is nearly completed.
Oh, really?
Some final paving work to do. Blacktop had it set for a few weeks before it gets coated. Fences are installed. We have some other minor site work that we just approved this morning, so that's moving along nicely.
What's the target date?
He's going to put the coating down within 2 weeks. So I think once that coating is down and the nets are installed,
There's a 72-hour dry time on the coating.
Now, Mayor, Paul sent you the sign.
I approved that.
You approved it? Okay.
Yeah.
George, one of the alternates in that contract for that contractor was the line of trees that the mayor wanted to buffer any sounds. I know we put up a line of trees already closer to the houses. The mayor wants another row of trees, so make sure that happens.
Will do.
Between the two fields.
Between the two.
Yeah, right field of the first field, and, well, both right fields, right between two of them. And we're going to get a letter out to the members of the club, right? Let them know that.
Yes, yep. I think that'll go a lot smoother than the community center one did, because the club right now doesn't have pickleball, so that'll be brand new for them, so there weren't memberships involved, so.
There's no issues with Forts Park, right?
Nah, just now we're starting to get some complaints that people are coming and they're not having their, they didn't register, they're just showing up to play. Technically, then they should just go to courts 11 and 12, but if they're being taken, some of the people that have registered, they're like, you can't play on these courts. These are for WCC members only. So I'm sitting down with Bobby to come up with now a schedule for site managers to be there.
Are we seeing registered but not used, or no?
No, if they
That would be
register,
the
they
other
come,
track,
yeah. So we're just trying to get with Lydia, what are the peak times, instead of having somebody just go there when there's nobody showing up. We'd rather have our site managers be there like when we know there's peak times of play.
Is there a lot of one-person member and 3 non-members?
That I don't know.
All right. Councilwoman De Jesus. Well, Youth and Government Day is under her agenda, so today is Youth and Government Day, so I'm sure she'll be speaking about that this evening.
Should be here at 11:30.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's working right now.
All right.
Oh, good.
So
You get
she'll
to
be
meet
here.
Councilwoman De Jesus. All right. Anything else for Councilwoman De Jesus?
So usually Councilwoman De Jesus mentions the library news. She'll probably announce the summer reading is Adventure Begins at Your Library. That's the theme. And there's programs for all ages, including for adults. Have photography and with your phone, as well as building a website for Lincoln Library, all kinds of good things for the summer.
Monica, why don't you introduce yourself so,
Sorry.
so they know who you are.
My name is Monica. I'm the library director, and I'm very happy to be here and encourage all of you to take part in enacting this day.
Thank you. Councilwoman Meehan.
Kelly has been doing an amazing job updating the volunteer directory and including in it a segment for our business world when they come to us and say, what can we do to help? And so if anybody has things that should be included in that, please let her know. And so she's as excited about it as I am, so that is really good. We're also trying to, with Marta's help, of course, Tim or Tom Hortons? We're trying to get them moving so that they can open the restaurant there because everybody in Colonia is waiting.
Tim, right?
Tim.
So Councilwoman Meehan also has veterans issues on her agenda. Wednesday night we have our salute to the troops in front of the health center, and she'll be emceeing that. Anything else for Councilwoman Meehan? Councilman Patel.
Oh, Magnolia looks great.
Magnolia looks fantastic.
Looks really
So
good.
you want to talk to him about that or no?
He should definitely mention it.
Should he also mention Cooper Fields?
Yeah. Right, the building's down, right, George?
It's not down yet, but it's scheduled very shortly.
All right. So, those of you who were from Island, Magnolia is the road from Oak Tree Road right to Route 27, right in front of Metro Park. There's a light right there. It wasn't safe because there were no sidewalks. It's not a wide street. It's heavily used by pedestrians to get to work, get to the train station, I should say. So we petitioned our congressman for, I think we got $400,000 from grant, and we put $200,000 in ourselves. And we went out with a project to put a row of sidewalk right through all the houses. Took down some trees, took down some signs, moved around some decorative stuff, and put a nice sidewalk in, so it's way, way safer now to get from Oak Tree Road to Metro Park. Yes?
When you say you put in $200,000 yourself, do you mean like you took it out from your personal salaries or from some?
Oh, no. Is there like a
You don't make that much.
We don't have it on tape. Ourselves, when I say ourselves, I mean the collective town of Woodbridge, Township of Woodbridge. Our budget put $200,000, the federal government gave us $400,000.
When did you explain that? We put some money aside for capital improvements.
Yeah, it's all not just paying salaries and benefits and buying supplies and police cars. but we have a capital budget for the future for infrastructure. We're very aggressive taking care of our roads, our sewers, our parks. So we have a significant amount of money we put into capital every year. Because if you don't and you start falling behind, suddenly you're like a lot of towns around us that have terrible roads and terrible parks and no infrastructure. So that's what we invested in that sidewalk, for public safety, mainly for public safety, I should say. The other thing for Island is Cooper Field, which is off Green Street, across from Island Pharmacy, kind of, and down. You might know where that is. Used to be a very active baseball league. It's not anymore. So we're turning that baseball field, into a youth cricket field, because cricket's very popular. We have, I think, 4 courts in town, but they're all full size. So now we're going to put a youth cricket field there, which is something the community needs. There's an awful lot of people to play.
All right. Anything else on Councilman Patel? Councilman McAuliffe.
The other thing, depends on how you got here, but Main Street and Route 9 is a huge project that we got a $12 million grant from the county for. And I think we what did we cover, off-duty and other things? Maybe we spend $500,000 ourselves. And that now is almost done. They're working on a culvert underneath Route 9 that they didn't tell us in the very beginning they were doing. So it really delayed the project. The county decided to do it after we started. But Main Street and Route 9 now, Upper Main Street looks beautiful. Very big investment by the state through the county. And anytime they give us money, we're happy to take it and do some good things with it.
Mr. Mitch.
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you.
Someone look at that?
Absolutely.
So jump back. Folks, I have a meeting at Wegmans. Mr. Semaluka had mentioned about my involvement with health and wellness. Wegmans has a program called Passport to Health, where we as a community select walks around town, anywhere. It doesn't have to be in the park. We give a little description of it, where it is, and they put it into what they call a passport. And every time you take one of those walks, you sign off and you bring it in and you get a discount at Wegmans. But those are some of the small, pleasant things that you get to do when you're a councilman. So my meeting is at 10:30, so I'm going to bid you adieu. Nice to see everybody.
Thank you for coming.
Take care.
Thank you for coming, Councilman. Okay, now what we do on a regular day is we go around and we talk about the things that are happening within our departments. And we share those items with the other directors so they understand the projects and the programs that are running in other departments, and some of them actually interface with each other. A lot of them interface with the police department, especially the recreation, because they need either security or they need roads closed. DPW also interfaces with the PD and the engineering department. Michael Gellin, who's not here today, longtime township engineer, he's in a class for a certification, so he couldn't make it. So they work directly with the engineering department. Actually, they oversee the engineering department, so those projects move smoothly. So redevelopment also works with all of those departments to make sure that those items are happening. So as we go around, we're going to start with the Chief of Staff, Callan Ehrlich.
Okay, so this is news from early this morning. So as all of you know, but as part of redevelopment, our redevelopers, they pay a lot of taxes if they're doing a big warehouse, and we are now starting to ask for community contributions. So we have a warehouse coming in that's going to be on the border of Perth Amboy and Woodbridge in the KFB area. And so aside, it's 900,000 square foot warehouse, so they will be bringing a lot of tax revenue into the town. But we thought that because it's so close to KFB, they really needed to do something to help the neighborhood. And we have felt that the children who live in the KFB area don't have access to summer programs that you may have if you live in Woodbridge, because you're close enough to get to the community center or in other parts of the town. So we asked them to contribute $25,000 a year for us to run programs. So we've been talking to Recreation, and so Brian, it's a go.
Oh, good.
And Eileen's over there, it's a go. And for Manny, I will get something signed from them that says they're going to give us the money, because until we have something signed, we can't spend the money. So that's my really exciting news for today. And then one other thing I wanted to mention, the mayor just put a division of sustainability officially underneath the chief of staff's office. And one of the really great things that we did with the consent of the council at their last meeting is we put in for a very nice sized grant that is a brand new innovative program, putting electric chargers. So usually when we put in a charging station, we gotta dig in the ground to get a connection to wherever the electricity is. This, they put on the bottom of the telephone posts and where there already is power going on, and they use that power as a charger. So it's like probably one of the second or third towns to do this. So hopefully we get the grant money and we can move forward with that. And that's it.
Thank you, Kyle.
Okay, yep, thank you, Vito. I just want to remind everybody, we have procs tonight before the council meeting at 5:30. Director Hubner, we're honoring 5 of your police officers. We have an officer of the quarter, and then 4 life-saving award actions. We also on Wednesday have Support the Troops, as George mentioned earlier. George, I think there was an issue with the stage, but we settled, Bobby's helped settle that yesterday?
There's no issue.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That's what I mean by coordination.
That event takes precedent over anything else.
There really wasn't an issue.
Okay, thank you, George.
Maybe for the other people.
And then the last thing that we talked about was the concert card. Brian, I think you and Bill gave us the okay on the concert card, but I would like to put eyes on it one more time.
You got it.
Just to make sure that there's no mistakes or date errors.
You checked that one band, right?
Yes, it is the Sufferers.
All
Kelly,
right.
right? The Sufferers? The Sufferers.
Oh,
Yeah.
just, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Vito.
Thanks, Megan. Casey?
Good. Thank you. So as mentioned before, I'm the Deputy Business Administrator. I work with and for Vito. So it's fun to get to do a little bit of everything. We do personnel, we do contracts, projects, we work with all the directors, which is good. Every day is something different. I've had the honor, I've learned from everybody at this table, and now at this point, those who have left and moved on and retired from the table, which is good. It's always a benefit to learn from those who've been doing whatever you do. If they've been doing it for years, I think the most valuable thing you could do is listen to those around you. It's been good. So as mentioned, one thing we do is personnel and contracts. So this night, I don't know if you saw, John, I got executive session for this evening. We got some last minute MOUs for Teamsters.
I saw it.
No, I sent it. You were probably in the room already. So, Mayor, we'll have that. Teamsters, that's parks, roads, rank and file, and sanitation and equipment repairs supervisors.
Just that one missing, right?
Just the one missing, road supers. Yep. So we'll see. We want to get these
We'll sit
done.
with them soon.
Yeah, and that's all I have, Vito.
Thanks, Casey. George?
Vito, my agenda is in order, but I have a few things. 86 Green Street, Mayor, that is final paving and the striping's being done.
I saw it this morning. It's not striped yet.
Not striped yet, but it's on schedule to be striped. I think that came out well. The benches that were requested for C1 waterfront have been ordered.
You gotta let me know when they go in, because that's worth a trip down there.
Yeah, I'm waiting on the lead time on the actual orders. Everything's a little delayed. Springwood Spray Park, final should be completed this week on a few things, and the rest of the equipment will be installed before the end of the week.
That looks ridiculously good.
And,
You were there Sunday-
and we
you were there
touched base
Saturday.
on pickleball
Who's here
that
from
Poacher
Colombia?
progress.
Have you been to
Behind
Springwood?
you, Kyle.
No, you gotta check it out. Go to Springwood.
Yeah, Springwood's right off Inman Avenue. It's a private swim club that we bought. They were struggling, so we bought them with money from a grant. We bought the club, and now we run it. We run the outdoor pool.
Thanks, George. Anything else?
No, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Monica?
Just want to thank the township for all the support with maintenance through the HVAC issues we've had. The main library's now got the air, it's running, it's great. And Brian Burke spent Saturday at the Henry Inman branch has got that running as well, almost up and running.
I hope it runs better than our machines here.
Really?
Our heat works and our air conditioning works. The problem is the heat works in the summer and the air conditioning works in the winter.
We've had tremendous support from the township for all the services at the library. And most recently, if any of you haven't been to the Henry Inman branch that's been renovated, please stop by. The township walked us through that as well and really gave us great support for that. So we do some great library services from those buildings. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Bob?
So June 7th, we're going to have 7 officers graduating from the police academy. And for the August class, we will have 10, it looks like.
Really?
Excellent.
Yeah.
It's the biggest class.
It's the first time in a long time that we were able to hit our number after certifying so many. Earlier, heard Megan talk about some officers being honored. What we do is the department recognizes people for outstanding work that they do on the road, but then the mayor also recognizes the officers, and he gives them proclamations at a council meeting. So tonight we have Officer of the Quarter, who is Sue Ellen Jarena. What she did was she volunteered her time with our community affairs unit, and she also works with Arrive, and that's a mental health program where when the officers have to respond to a mental health crisis, they have a mental health worker embedded in the car with them, and she did an outstanding job. And then we also have a number of officers getting life-saving awards. We're normally the first on the scene for first aid calls. Many of our officers are EMT, and they're all trained in basic first aid. And the mayor can attest to this. It seems like almost every time we're doing proclamations, somebody's getting a life-saving award. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Michelle?
Senior Services, the Division on Aging, they're doing a mental health seminar. We're going to do that presentation along with the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Evergreen is one of our 6 senior centers. They're going to, for Older Americans Month, which is in May, they introduced a program of Tai Chi and with an instructor, so that has been very well received. We also continue to work with Middlesex County Cultural Arts, and they do a lot of arts and crafting programs. 5 Branches is another senior center of ours. They have an art class there, and they'll do whether it's pencil art or oil art, and that class is growing, so they went from a small room, they're going to have to move that to a larger room. Hickory is another senior center of ours, and pretty much all of our senior centers, they have a monthly luncheon, and they sell out every single month. Our other senior center, Maple Tree, again for Older Americans Month, they had a smoothie luncheon combined with an individual who provided some instruction for older adults on some exercising when they begin their day. Our department has 3 divisions. We have a social work division, and we have a senior center division, and we have a senior transportation. And so we collaborate together so that we can increase socialization and a quality of life of our older adults in our township, and decrease isolation so that they're not just stuck at home. That's all I have.
Thanks, Michelle. Brian?
Thank you, Vito. This past weekend, we had our open house at the pools. We did really good. Our numbers are still, on the whole, down a little bit from last year at this time, but that open house really helped us. Pools will be opening Memorial Day weekend. We're all set to go on that on target.
Send me an email and make sure I'll put in my call again Friday.
Okay, you got it. Summer camps, kids sports completely sold out. WCC only has a few openings left. Merle Park, there's still, but that camp always fills up later as we get closer. And then just some upcoming events. We have our Summerfest June 1st at Merle Park. We have the Feria di Sevilla June 2nd at Parker Press, and then we have a new event, Global Run Day, is going to be June 5th at Alvin Williams Park. That event is run in conjunction with the club. And that's it.
Thanks, Brian. Manny?
Good morning. My department right now is in the middle of developing the budget, the fiscal budget of 2025 for the township. And what we've just done, basically sit down with every director in this table here, sat down with the deputy VA, the VA, as well as chief of staff to go over everybody's salary and wage budget, their other expenditure budget for the year to see if there's any needs for the next year, or make sure that there's enough money in their budget to fulfill anything that they need for the year. We're also looking at past years to make sure that the 24 year, if there's any needs that have to be moved around to other departments, that we're moving the money to make sure we capture all our expenses for the year and not have any issues. We're also starting to look at our capital budget as well. We sit down with the mayor and see to make sure that all the larger needs that we've mentioned before in terms of buying police cars, buying public works vehicles, doing roads, that they're all covered, and make sure that we have enough money there to get everything done for the year. And that's kind of we're in the middle of this process right now, and it will probably be ready. We will definitely be ready by August 13th to introduce the budget for the new year. Thank you.
Thanks, Manny. John.
Thank you. 2 items to mention. We're gearing up for the presidential primary, which is 2 weeks from today. While I don't expect it to be a huge turnout, that gets us prepared for November, which is going to be probably a significant turnout. And of course, the implementation of mail-by ballot is significant as well, because that saves us from greeting literally thousands of people at the polling locations. The other item to note is tonight we're going to start renewing liquor licenses. For those of you up on the dais, businesses who serve or sell alcohol have to be licensed, have a license to do so, and that goes through our office. And it's a big deal, because when you think about a restaurant, they sell food, and while prices are up, and alcohol prices are up as well, that's where they make a lot of their money, and it's a big deal for them to get a renewal. So we're just starting that. It's a very tight window of about 6 to 8 weeks, and so there's a lot of pressure on them. Just to give an example, we have 93 liquor licenses, and as of today, 22 are prepared for renewal. And then after today, they only have 2 more shots at it before the end of June, which is the end of our year, before they have to go to additional steps to renew their licenses. But we stay on top of it, so that's big for us right now, that election.
Thank you, John. David?
Okay. The health department really doesn't have a formal agenda, but we will be, this is our pool week, so we open up all the public pools, including Springwood, and all the other apartment pools. So we'll be doing that. We oversee the environmental division, nursing. We also, we have a mobile health van, and they just had their best month ever for screenings. We do screenings throughout town. We were at locations such as the street fair, where we had over 100 screenings done. So that's our biggest star right now, our new project. Newest project. We also do tobacco age of sale, e-cigarette program, so people that are under the age of 17 to 21 can go out, and if anybody is interested, actually see me after the meeting. We take volunteers to go into the establishments that are underage and under 21, and if they sell, they get a fine. So that's what our program does. So that's something that we do. And we also oversee animal control. We oversee the basic public health throughout the town.
So David talked about the mobile health unit. That's something that one of Carroll's redevelopers donated to us. It's probably a $250,000 vehicle. What are you left at?
Megan, the underage.
Oh, I said Megan out too. So it's saved people's lives so far. People have gone into that unit. One of our nurses went into there just to get her blood pressure checked. It was through the roof. And then she went right to her doctor, who diagnosed her, and she had some really serious issues where if she had not learned about it and started to deal with it, could have been life-threatening. And it's not the only one. I just know because I know her, because she works for us. But there's countless stories about people going in there and finding out they have high cholesterol, so they check it out and really have issues. They check glucose, they check blood pressure, a couple other things. But that's something that's really, literally saved people's lives. So it's a great benefit for the township.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, David. Mark?
Good morning. I'm the Director of Planning, as I said, and we handle anything related to land. So anything that anybody wants to do on land anywhere in town is somehow related to one or another of the divisions of the department. And a cornerstone of this mayor's agenda is economic development and attracting development to the downtown. So I work very closely with the mayor and with Carol, the chief of staff, and the redevelopment agency director, because we deal with everything related to land. So we issue over 5,000 building permits a year. We accept all the applications for development. We work with the community development block grant. We work with locating affordable housing. As soon as spring happens, everybody opens their windows and now they have complaints about their neighbors. So we handle all the housing and building and zoning complaints in the town. So we're pretty busy right now because, as I said to you, we just issued the interior fit-out permit for the farm at Main Street is going to renovate the entire inside. So we're working with them on that. And if you see at the intersection of Route 1 and Route 35, I continue to get many, many compliments on that site. There's a fence, there's lots of equipment. I get calls every week who say, you know, it's the cleanest construction site I've ever seen. And so hopefully within the next year, we're going to open an organic grocery, Sprouts. And if you saw, they just opened their 3rd location in Keyport. So we're going to be the 4th location in New Jersey. And we find that for the most part, most of our locations of anything are some of the strongest locations. Like if they're national, like Taco Bell, that little Taco Bell is the 2nd busiest Taco Bell in the country. So we find that all the national brands do very, very well here, and that's one of the reasons why we're so lucky to be able to attract new brands, but at the same time, it's definitely a cornerstone of the mayor and Carol's agenda.
So two of the biggest things Marta's working on now with Carol and I, one is Woodbridge Center. They were struggling. Somebody bought their mortgage, which means now they're going to foreclose on it and own the mall. It's all friendly. It's not contentious. They already hired a company to run the mall. They intend to keep the mall. Some knucklehead posted on Facebook 3 years ago that the mall was going to turn into a hospital. Never was true. Don't post on Facebook if you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, the things people...
I don't think they use Facebook.
Don't. It's, I use it for my mayor's page because I like telling people what's going on, and we take pictures, and the mayor's page helps get events, you know, populated. It helps people know what's going on. I don't even use my personal page except to put pictures of my grandson. Yes.
I work at Woodbridge Mall actually, and Boscov's, and I cannot tell you how many customers, 1 out of every 3 ask me, oh, are you guys closing? I heard that the mall is going to close soon and this and that, and it's just like such hysteria, because our store isn't going to close, but everybody's just all confused over, you know, like all the misinformation about it.
In fact, Boscov's came out and said, we're not closing. They had a big press release. They were smart. So the new owners intend to keep it a mall, but it's still a challenge because we told them we don't want residential. We certainly don't want a warehouse with trucks going up and down Woodbridge Center Drive. We said entertainment, hospitality, healthcare, education, anything else, but not those 2. So they intend to look at other options, and I think personally entertainment is the way they're going to go, because you look at the mall up in Meadowlands, the retail up there is doing terrible, but all the entertainment up there is doing great. So it could be indoor mini golf, it could be indoor bowling, it could be pin bowling, it could be, what else were they talking, indoor water park, it could be a whole host of things. One of the malls just added hatchet throwing, which I don't understand how you mix alcohol with hatchet throwing. Doesn't seem safe to me. But one of the malls in Burlington just announced a major expansion, and it's all recreational. So I think that's the way they're going to go. They're going to get things that attract people, not just stores, but bring those kind of uses into the mall. The other big thing we're working on is Metro Park. The state owns it. We don't have a whole lot to do with it, but they went out for proposals, and they're getting more office space. But the main tenant is going to be Hackensack Meridian Health, which is a great main tenant to have. Their corporate headquarters in New Jersey is going to be in Woodbridge in Metro Park. And they're going to have a 60,000 square foot health facility, not a hospital, but oncology, hematology, cardiology, an emergent care center. It's going to have a big healthcare use as well as all healthcare offices. It's a huge shot in the arm for Metro Park, for the economy there. So that's a lot of what Marta and Carol and I have been working on for the past several months, and probably for the next 2 years.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm the business administrator, and great leadership starts at the top with the mayor as well as great vision. So the mayor has great leadership, and around this table, I'm fortunate enough to work daily and handle the day-to-day operations of the township with this great crew that you see here. These are the top leaders in government in New Jersey, I can tell you that right now. I've worked with most of these folks for 40 plus years. They're not only my colleagues, they're personal friends, and every one of them are professionals in their discipline. It makes my job very easy, and it makes the mayor's mission move quicker than any other government entity in New Jersey, and I can say that. Mayor will probably say the country. And I'll agree with them, but I have to tell you that working for the mayor is 110 miles an hour all day long. He sees something, he identifies what he wants as a project or initiative, he puts it in motion, and everyone around this table moves the project forward. So as you saw them go around and talk about all the things that they do, they also have many years in government and the education to back that up. So I'm fortunate, it makes my job much easier.
Why don't we do real quick, just everybody give 30 seconds on how long you've been here, when you started. Go ahead.
All right, so I've been here 41 years. I started as a laborer in the Department of Public Works. I also worked for the police department, and I ran the auxiliary and special police for quite a bit of time. I worked as a diesel mechanic, and I worked my way up to recreation director. I worked at the community center for a long period of time, running the community center. I became the recreation director in 2009, I believe, and I became the business administrator in 2019. So I've been here 4.5 years in this position, and I'm, like I said, I'm extremely fortunate. Marta?
So I am in my 36th year with the town. I have been director of planning and development finishing my 27th year. And I came here right out of school. I started at Rutgers University, and in 5 years I got my undergraduate and my graduate degree from the University of Pennsylvania. I'm actually one of the 1% of the population that works in the discipline that their degree is in. I have a master's in city and regional planning, and I started here as a planner and worked my way up, and now again, to echo what Vito said, the mayor works at 110 miles an hour. So we all work very fast and very hard. And if there was a better way to do any of what I do, I've checked, because I know lots of people all over the state. I've worked with lots of them, whether it be in a Woodbridge capacity or on a daily, weekly basis. I get phone calls from other professionals and other people that have worked here and now they're working somewhere else, and they just want to pick my brain and talk to me about what else they're doing and what I think about that, like an easier, better way to do it. So I get a really wide swath of what's going on around the state. And like I said, that's why if there were a way to do anything better, faster, I've done the research and we would implement it so that we could do it. And that's why, again, Vito said that we're, premier for government, at least in the state, and we are, because we've done it and we've been there and we've tried and true.
So much for 30 seconds.
Sorry.
That wasn't
30 seconds. Sorry.
Go ahead, David. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. I've only been here 2 years as the health officer. I was with Middlesex County for 28 years as a chief inspector. I work under Director Phil Pajalski and moved the health department along.
And Phil's been here a long, long time.
Oh, yeah.
But Phil, you need a health officer with the license. And Phil, although he's been here 30 some odd years, did not have the health officer license. So we had to put somebody in that position when the prior guy retired. So that's why David was attractive to us, because he had government experience and the license.
Thank you, David. Mr. Mitch.
John Mitch, 34 years, was a councilman, clerk, business administrator. If there's any encouragement I can give, get involved in local government. It's been great probably for every one of us around this table, but don't be afraid to work because it has evolved into a 7-day-a-week job. And I say that not to just throw it out there for every one of us. Sunday was no different. I hear from a council person, calls me at home, I call the administrator, we get it resolved, we get back to the end. It works that way, but it's very rewarding. It really is.
I only have 13 years here, but I was very lucky earlier in my career to meet the mayor and Carol when they were down in Trenton, when the mayor was the treasurer. And probably the best connection I ever made. And led me to here, so I'm very happy to be here.
So I love the story. We were leaving because the governor at the time was done, and there was a new governor coming in, so the old team leaves, and I decided to run for mayor, and ran for mayor and won, and we had an opening for chief financial officer. Manny reconnected with us, and we hired Manny, and I said, by the way, Manny, why did you take the CFO courses when, you know, what made you want to get into local government? He says, you told me I should. That turned out to be pretty good advice.
Good advice, yeah.
Thank you, Manny. Brian?
So I've been with the Township of Woodbridge 40 years. I started out as a laborer in the Parks Department. In May of 2011, I was moved up to Deputy Rec Director under Vito. In December of 2019, I became the Director of Recreation.
Thanks, Brian. Michelle?
22 years, I with Senior Services, did my graduate work with the Township Senior Services, was a social worker, worked in the front lines, then became division head to the social work division, and now director. And so there's tremendous pride and tremendous support, and loyalty goes with that.
Thank you.
I think I'm the oldest here, as far as years, 43 years. I graduated Woodbridge High School, William Patterson University, became a police officer in 1981. In 2011, I worked my way up through the ranks. Then in 2011, the mayor appointed me police director.
Thanks, Bob. Monica?
Well, I've been here for 7.5 years. Before that, I was in Elizabeth Public Library for 10, and before that, Brunswick Public Library. So I brought different kinds of experience, but I've never worked in a place that's been as supportive as this group is. It's just they work together and they support all the services. It's unique.
Thank you, Monica. George?
So I'm George Brew. I'm the Public Works Director. I've been here 36 years as well. I started as a mechanic in the Parks Department, and I went on to be a Park Superintendent. And in 2019, I became the Director of Public Works, just prior to COVID, which was a big challenge for everybody in this room. I do oversee the wastewater division, sanitation, road department, parks department, engineering division, the school custodians, which a lot of you know, you're in school now, don't realize they're part of the public works department. So the custodians also work on the public works. When we took them over, the mayor said, you'll never know the custodians are there. There's 160 school custodians, so it's a big number. It's a good stepping stone for our custodians. They come in, they work part-time, full-time. If they're interested in moving on into public works, we move them to road department, sanitation, parks, the wastewater division, and gives them a lot of opportunities for people that just start working here. We recently, our supervisors, as you move along in your career, we just recently graduated 6 supervisors out of Rutgers take the Certified Public Works Management course. It's approximately a 2-year course, you know, part-time. It teaches everyone all the aspects of public works, public relations, supervising, human resources, all the tools we need to operate professionally in public works. But it is I can attest, it's a great career path. The only job I've really had, but I wouldn't change it for anything.
Thanks, George. Casey?
I don't quite have the decades Ian and everybody else said, but I graduated from John Jay College in 2014 with public administration. Briefly worked in the private sector for a year, and I ran into the mayor out in public one day. I said, hey, I went to public administration. I really like to see what I could do. He offered me a 3-month internship, said it won't go anywhere any longer than that, and that was 9 years ago. So it kind of worked. They kept me on. I went to communications first. I worked with John Haggerty, who wasn't here. Did that about a year or so, and I ultimately moved over to the VA's office, and it's been great ever since. I've learned a lot. Intimidating at first because you're talking engineering at 10 o'clock, you're talking personnel at 11, redevelopment at noon, so it was a lot to learn, but it's been great. I'm with George. I wouldn't change it for anything. I love every day coming in and doing what I do. So.
Yeah, Casey's father asked me years ago if I would talk to him. I didn't know him. Just, give him some advice. So we sat down, and after half an hour, I hired him. Literally.
It's great. It's been good ever since. Good opportunity. And sometimes that's all it takes. You have no idea where you're going to be. You run into somebody. Next thing you know, you're in your career, and it's almost 10 years later, which is good.
Thanks, Casey. Megan?
So I started here when I was 20 years old, studying at Rutgers. I sent an email to the mayor just on a whim. I didn't know anybody. I said, here's my resume. Do you have any internship positions? Because I'm studying political science. And now when you're in college, you don't know what to study. You pick, something kind of liberal. So you're like, okay, what are you going to do with that? But here I am. I turned 28 yesterday, so I've been here 8 years. I got my master's in public relations. And like Casey said, John Haggerty is my mentor. He's the director of communications. He's absolutely amazing. He worked for the Philadelphia DEA. He worked for the New Jersey State Police. He is absolutely phenomenal. And I have Kelly over there, who's our social media specialist. And filming us is our TV 35 crew, so I'd be remiss if we didn't mention them, because without all of us, we can't get the word out about all the great things that we do here. And like everybody else in this room said, working here has been an absolute pleasure. The mayor's an amazing boss. Vito's an amazing boss. I couldn't ask for anything better, being here for 8 years.
And it started with an email, a random email, but I tell you, I still have that in my system. That email was so well written that it impressed me instantly. And we brought her in for an interview and hired her, and now she writes for us for a living. So that's why you got it, because the email was like perfect. I said, wow, if a 20-year-old college kid can write this good now, can you imagine what she could do for us? And that's what happened.
Thanks, Megan. Happy birthday. Carol?
Yeah, we didn't know it was your birthday.
Well, she didn't show up yesterday.
Throw me under the bus, easy.
I'm Carolyn Ehrlich. I'm the chief of staff here. I've been here 28 years, started as a councilwoman at large. And when John was asked to be treasurer in Trenton, he took me with him as his chief of staff. I stayed on the council, did both jobs. Then when he ran for mayor and became mayor, couldn't be chief of staff and council person at the same time. So I gave up the council seat to be his chief of staff. And it's a phenomenal job, a phenomenal opportunity. Very difficult to describe. I would have to say that if you kept noticed us, I whisper a lot in his ear. We're kind of always, bouncing things off of each other and working together on every single vision and idea that the mayor has. I work with him on that. Also, as part of my job, as I mentioned earlier, is the sustainability, which I am passionate about and very excited to be doing that. We constantly get awards for being with Sustainable Jersey as the champions. Nobody gets as many points as does as well as Woodbridge. And then also working with Marta and the mayor, I get to do redevelopment and bring in some wonderful projects into the town. So I consider myself a very, very lucky and fortunate person.
So I'm 28 years, I'm an accountant by trade, so I was 8 years with a big accounting firm after college. Then I left there, started my own business, specialized in government. When you work for an accounting firm, sometimes you get a banking client, you can become a banking expert. You have an insurance client, a retail client. I had government clients, I learned government accounting. Then I started my own business. Then I met a guy named McGreevy who was running for mayor in 1991, and I helped him. I lived in town my whole life since I was 2, and I wanted to see him win, so he did win, and then he made me the chief financial officer of the town. I did that for 10 years. The last year was also the administrator while he was running for governor the second time. He became the governor, as Carol said, asked me to be the treasurer. We worked together for 10 years. It was easy to say, you know, go work for me in Trenton, a level higher. And then left there, announced I was running for mayor. Then the mayor passed away early, so I ran a year earlier than I thought I was going to run. I ran in 06 instead of 07, and then ran every 4 years since then. So I'm 42 years overall, 28 with the township. And 6 people here have more experience than me with the town, and I have 28 years. And this team works well together. Everybody gets along. I'll give you an example. Last Wednesday, every year in May, we go to a day game, a bus trip to the Somerset Patriots. They used to be in Trenton Thunder. Now it's Somerset Patriots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people at this table were on that bus trip. So that just kind of shows you with 40 other people that work for the town. That just shows you the camaraderie we have because we socialize together, we hang out together, we like working with each other. And everybody here is among the best in the state at their job, and that is not an exaggeration. Having seen, working in the state, you see all the towns. And when you're mayor of Woodbridge, you see all the other mayors. And you know what everybody has and doesn't have. And nobody has a team like this anywhere in the state of New Jersey. And that's why the town runs so well. So now we got to run out to take a picture. We're coming back, but you guys are going to all tell us some of your thoughts, right? That's your next step.
Absolutely, yep.
All right, we'll be back.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, everybody. Feel free to reach out anytime. If we're getting an award or urban. Okay.
So Brian, now I think they have an agenda, correct? And we're going to go around and call on each one of them for their agenda. You want to MC that?
Yeah, so you guys, when you did your packet, you had the questionnaire of the project that you would want to work on. So what we'll do now is we'll go around and you can tell the directors, you know, what was on, you know, your package, you know, what project you wanted to work on. So I guess we'll start with the mayor. Benjamin, if you want to start, tell us about what your project was and, you know.
Volunteerism and volunteer hours mandatory for graduating high school for seniors, just to get involved.
So now volunteerism for high school seniors. Now, do you guys still, in the school district, you guys still get the cords? Oh, well, no, you're, so you're at where, St. Thomas? So do you have a mandatory set of hours you have to volunteer?
Yeah, like 25.
For a year?
Each year, yeah.
Okay. Now, I know in Woodbridge School District students, you guys still get a purple cord if you do, I think there was a certain amount of hours. I don't know if it was 40 in the 4 years.
It's 20 now. I think they reduced it.
All right. All right, we'll go with our council president. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Angela Spinamato, like I stated before, and my topic is volunteerism. I think it's very important to give back to our community and those who don't have any, like me and Leanna and I, we go into our library after school every day, and we can at least point out 4 homeless people who are there because it's too hot outside or it's too cold outside and they need a place to stay. And so I wanted to see if we could do monthly donations to different homeless shelters and different organizations every month and implement that in all of our high schools. For example, I help run the Hispanic Culture Club for my school, and for Women's History Month, we did a clothing and food drive towards the homeless shelter, a women's homeless shelter, to give back to them because, you know, they don't really have that funding to receive those nice things. So I think it's very important to really push forward to that, because I understand that we do have food drives and all of that, but you know, high schoolers and teenagers, they're not really inclined to help out. But if we push forward with it and we really show that it is something important, I feel like we could get more kind of awareness to the situation itself.
So then the students would do the donations, they would come up with the different programs?
Yeah, like for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we could donate to organizations that help with, you know, finding solutions to that issue. And like we could donate stuff to hospitals and things like of that sort.
Great, thank you.
We work with an agency. We partner with them with regards to the homeless. We would be more than happy to collaborate with that and take those items. And we'll also donate for the homeless. It could be hats, scarves, socks, little care packages.
Okay, thank you.
Great. We'll just work our way down this way.
So I came up with the topic of volunteerism, and I came up with this topic because as a high school junior, you know, like we're starting to look at colleges, and we're starting to like, especially my mom, like my mom's on me about college and what I want to pursue, and I came up with this idea of creating an organization that would partner with like hospitals, vet clinics, different types of science labs to kind of like allow students to perform shadow work under like a supervisor, so that they can like see if this is a career they would want to pursue, because a lot of college freshmen go into college with their majors undecided, or they just have no idea what they want to do. So this would give them an opportunity to have experience in some field and see whether they like it or if they don't. And if they don't, they won't waste their time pursuing that further in college and then not want to do it later on.
So the one thing I think you will find with volunteerism, when you do fill out your college applications, you know, you will find the spot, you know, what, you know, how many hours do you volunteer in, what do you volunteer in? And when I was on the school board, I know we tried to put a mandatory set of hours in, you know, we wanted 40 hours for 4 years. That kind of got shot down. But the mindset behind it was to help you guys when you do fill out that college application. You know, they do look to see. And, you know, when the mayor always speaks at a graduation, high school graduation, he always talks about his theme of his speeches about making yourself, your resume, stand out amongst the crowd. Because there's going to be thousands of resumes that get put to these college admission offices. What separates you from everybody else that's in there? And, you know, volunteerism is a big component to that, so.
Good morning, my name is Suhani Dubey and I'm from John F. Kennedy Memorial High School, and my topic was on food banks. So I proposed the 3-2-1 plan, in which the township tries to outreach to 3 potential participants of the food drive, hold 2 district-wide seasonal food drives, and hold 1 informational session about what food drives and soup kitchens are. And this plan would be executed on a quarterly basis, so every 3 months. Additionally, it would be suggested that the township try to reach out to more religious centers within itself, because there's only currently 8 churches and 1 synagogue that are participating, while there is still a huge variety of religious centers present in the township. Also, I believe that holding 2 district-wide food drives every 3 months would result in a higher engagement, especially if schools, public libraries, and the religious centers I previously mentioned, and the Woodbridge Community Center held them, as these areas are often visited by a diverse group of people. I also strongly believe that there should be meetings and other informational sessions held to get more individuals and families to donate. We'll also inform those that do need assistance in the community that the food pantries are there and present for them. I also think that while it is difficult to address as many people as possible within your district, it is crucial that everyone knows about the presence and availability of these food banks. So we could use like apps and websites to help notify members of the community if they don't have time to get to these informational meetings.
Thank you. Yeah, I know Woodbridge Township takes food donations very serious. I know with our summer concerts coming up, we always, on our Monday and Tuesday shows where we get our biggest crowds, we ask residents to come, bring cans of food. They bring it over to the donation tent. We give them a raffle ticket in return. You can win a television set. Vito, do you want to talk about the food pantry and the project that we did at the Knights of Columbus?
So we have several food pantries in town. Peter Barcelona, who works for our health department, oversees it. Peter's also a deacon with the Roman Catholic Church. So Peter does some ministries in South America. Fantastic man that kind of heads this up. There's also a group of volunteers. We've come into an agreement with the Knights of Columbus on Main Street and Route 35 that we use a portion of their building. We've turned it over into a kind of a warehouse to where we can store dry food and also refrigerated food. We move refrigerators in there. We did some work to the facility to shore up some of the flooring to make sure they take care of the weight of the refrigerators. And we have an annex to where we can house food for long periods of time. This way it supplements our food bank and our food distributions to those in need. So it helps us store. So there's a couple other locations that we're working on with the church, but as we get those, we'll expand more. It's one of the mayor's pet projects.
And then also we do the Have a Heart food drive in town, where it's kind of a challenge. So it's another cornerstone in our food donation program.
Hi, my name is Darshana Shah, and I'm also from John F. Kennedy Memorial High School, and my topic was civic engagement. The idea that I had was a creation of a committee amongst a diverse group of ages and people that represent the different walks of life, demographics, and community involvement, and collectively act as the voice of the township. So this committee, the way it would be implemented is that it would consist of a diverse group of people, like I mentioned before, but there will still be qualifications to ensure that the committee is an accurate, well-balanced representation of the greater population of the township. And the first step would be to create this committee through a reviewed application and available to anybody in the township from the year of 17 years older and onward, so that they have an interest in local government. And they would enable people who want to be involved in the local government to play a role, while also being to do like the other things that they do on their life on the side. So it would be a low commitment for them, but they would also be able to get involved in the local government and play a part. And so the committee would have representatives that would be able to communicate with higher officials, sit at meetings, and become a part of making decisions. And to ensure that everyone is heard, these representatives could be voted on and rotated by the issues that they want to talk about at certain meetings. And the members of this committee would also cause an outreach to more people in the community, because they would be members of the general committee in general, and they would be able to reach their ideas out to the people they work with, the people they interact with on a daily basis, and they would be able to communicate with their peers for certain ideas and bring in problems that are more prominent for the general public that may not be reached in local government because they don't know how they can get involved or bring out their problems to people in the government.
So on that, our youth services department of the recreation department, I mean, we are trying to bring back the Youth Leadership Council. So that's something that, might go into, your project, getting involved in that. And then also for the Woodbridge School District students, do they still have the superintendent's roundtable, where it used to be where each high school used to send a freshman, sophomore, and junior, and they used to sit with the superintendent of schools and a couple of the board members and kind of go over the issues that are in your school, trying to get the students' perspective on, like what you guys wanted to see changed or, needed improvement. I don't know if they still do that or not. I don't know if any of you.
Recently we had like Day of Expression and Dialogue, where we had invited, it was like a district-wide thing where we invited, it was hosted at Woodbridge High School, where members of other schools came and we spoke about all the school issues. And
Okay.
it was like a diverse like group, even the middle schoolers came. So I guess that's similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah, I guess the program must have like moved on. They might have made it bigger. It just used to be, like I said, the students and a couple of board members in the superintendent's conference room. You know, just a very informal discussion of school issues that were going on. So I guess they made it bigger and they included middle school kids, which, you know, was good. So, yeah.
I'm Sophia Grasso. I'm from Colonia High School, and my idea was also about volunteerism, more on the forefront of cleaning up our township. I was thinking about the ways that, especially at Colonia High School, I'm aware that a lot of students do look for the honor cord, as that's like a big achievement for them with the volunteership. Those who don't do honor societies and other things are still involved in volunteership. It's a big deal at our school. And even in honor societies, you need to do a certain amount of hours to stay members. So it's something Colonia High School students are always looking for, is an opportunity for hours that's available to all and not just members of some organizations. And with that, I was thinking about the fact that there are multiple organizations throughout Colonia Cleanup, Colonia Can, which is on a smaller level. I don't know if many are aware of that one, but their job is cleaning up the township and working with that. But it's not a huge township widespread thing. And I think if we could incorporate student leadership into those organizations and advertise for them in the schools, it would encourage students to have more volunteer opportunities, fulfill those requirements, get the honor cord if that's something they're looking for, but also get experience in leadership on a township scale, which could also encourage them to succeed in leadership positions further in their careers. And it's also great to fill out that requirement for colleges and when you're looking to apply places. So I figured cleaning up would be the best way to get everybody involved in an even playing field.
Great. And then we also have National Public Lands Day. That comes in the fall. We're always looking for volunteers to help with that. And then Megan, maybe we could get them all a copy, all the students a copy of the volunteer booklet that we have.
Okay.
That'll have a lot of opportunities too.
So Brian, just a comment on that. So the Division of Recycling is also a part of Public Works, and that's a big part of community cleanups. We do have programs that we do where people can get hours, and you know, they log down different areas that they might go and clean up. It doesn't need to be a large group. You know, we can provide the material, we can pick up tools and bags, and you know, someone is accountable for what they pick up. We do the C1 waterfront a lot of times. In Colonia, there's a lot of streams and areas and you know that collect debris. So we'll reach out to Megan to make sure you have that information, and we can definitely assist and could use the help in maintaining our areas.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. You actually have the volunteer book in your packet, so that's why you take a look at it, and you know, you might see areas that you never knew, you know, didn't even imagine volunteers are needed, and you know, something that might interest you. So, all right, we'll start going on this side. Leanna, do you want to kick off?
Yeah, so hi, my name is Leanna Lucas. I'm from Woodbridge High School, and my topic related towards volunteerism / economic development. And I had the idea that we should create a program where local entrepreneurs can come into our schools to talk to students about starting a business, developing an entrepreneurial mindset, and things like that. The way that we could do this is by developing a list of local business owners that would be willing to come speak maybe on a monthly basis to students in middle and high school about their journey, and maybe even taking trips to their stores. They could educate us on what makes a good business, how to be an entrepreneur, marketing, product development, and all the different facets that go into starting their business. I think that this would be very beneficial to generate business, because I think that young people make up a large percentage of consumers, and the world is becoming ever more entrepreneurial. And I think that if we educate students on the possibilities and opportunities being an entrepreneur possesses, and allow them to see how feasible it is and how it exists in their backyard, that we could stimulate more traffic into these businesses, and also increase interest in making students want to give into their own communities again, start thinking about how, oh, maybe they could come up with a business that could be brought to downtown or Main Street. And I think that, so I recently moved to Woodbridge, and something that we did in my old town was we had a entrepreneur summit where there was a panel of local successful business leaders and entrepreneurs that acted as sharks in a Shark Tank style pitch, where local youth came with their ideas for businesses and competed and presented their ideas to this panel in hopes of winning a stipend so that they could start their potential business. And yeah, I think that that would be a great opportunity, not only just to get youth more familiarized with business and starting their own ideas, but also, you know, it could lead into internships with local business owners and maybe even segue into employment.
So was that something we could do with the chamber maybe, or?
Well, isn't there already a career day that goes on in some of the high schools?
Yeah, we have that, but that's more for like the students that aren't going to go to college, that are going to go right into the workforce. So that's kind of just like meeting in a future maybe employer. More on.
Brian, if I may, Shirley Genty, before she left us, actually tried to implement a Shark Tank like this. So
Okay.
we can resurrect
Yeah.
the blueprints if you would like, and then we can see how, you know, this could be something we could do.
Yeah.
I know that I've gone a couple times into the schools with some of the business
Okay.
community to speak to students. So I think we do it in some capacity, but it sounds like you're talking about doing it on a much larger scale.
Yeah,
and
we
that would be
actually
great.
were, before Lee Beckerman retired too, we were going to do a whole production with it. It just never came to fruition.
Okay.
I was just going to say something. Where did you come from? So maybe we can look at how.
Oh, I came from New York, from Queens.
Queens, New York?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's something that you should really bring to your principal's attention, and then sit down and have the talk with him, and then he can pass it along. But it's a great idea. I do remember Shirley talking about that. So, yeah, that would be great if we could do that.
Hi, my name is Gracie Graybill, and I'm from Colonia High School, and my topic is related to volunteerism. So I was thinking, in order to further support the ESL community in Woodbridge Township, we could offer like a volunteer-based program in which volunteers would help probably younger age groups with the language of like English. Like we could help like tutor and like conversations to provide further exposure. I know in the library they offer like similar with like helping children learn how to read. So I was thinking it could be similar to this. And like Sophia mentioned, I know a lot of high school students would love the opportunities for more hours and just to give back. And this could be an interesting opportunity for bilingual people. And these resources are offered in schools, like when children don't know when they enter the system without knowing how to speak English. But like I mentioned before, further exposure, maybe just a conversation with people who can speak the language and who might need more resources. This could be a good opportunity.
Great, thank you. I know when I first got elected to the board, 18 years ago, the biggest issue was why people weren't attending board meetings, and they felt it was the language barrier. People didn't really understand the language. It was just all English was, the board meeting in, and we kind of talked about, trying to, maybe do a board meeting where we had an interpreter there and to help with the language barrier. But I think now when you go into all your schools, the message boards that, like the instructions for signing in and everything like that are all in different languages. So that's, one thing we started to do to help with that.
Hello, my name is Jake. Thank you all for bringing us here. It's an amazing opportunity. I'm very grateful. I wanted to discuss the implementation of traffic lights in areas near school zones. The idea came when I was hearing about a teacher who was backing out of a parking lot and she hit a student, knocked out their 2 front teeth, and then it resulted in a lawsuit. Now, very different circumstances, but it gave me the idea that children should always be feeling safe in school zones. So this is why I wanted to go further with this idea. Fundraising could be achieved through grants from public institutions like schools, police stations, federal grants, stuff like that. And outside of that, if that isn't enough, we go to public fundraising in both their schools and communities. The two spots in particular I was thinking of having them were at the intersection between Barron Avenue and Green Street. I know Green Street's a very busy street, and there isn't a traffic light right next to the middle school, like where it comes out. So I was thinking that'd be a good spot to put one. And the second area was at the intersection between Ross Street and Amboy Avenue. It's a similar situation, very busy street right next to the school. 1 second. Oh. Yeah, so the longer this takes, the longer we go without having traffic lights in these areas, the higher the risk becomes of an accident occurring and something unfortunate happening. So that's why I decided to bring this up today. Thank you, folks.
So I'll talk to you about the traffic light installations. What has to happen is traffic studies are done by both the police department and the municipal engineer. There's different requirements that have to be met with traffic lights up. And if you really look at that area, I understand what you're saying because it's a very busy section of the roadway with the schools there. But they put traffic calming signs, crossing guards, and that in the area to address that. You have traffic light at Route 35 on Green Street, and you also have one at Broadway Avenue. So if you put another traffic light, I think you would tend to find that traffic would be just gridlocked, it'd be stopped. So, but it's something that the engineer would look at and police department.
Gotcha.
So how about, we just did see the need for Ford Avenue at School 25, and we're doing a traffic study through the engineering department right now to put a traffic signal at that very busy intersection, Ford Avenue, School 25 and Ford's.
Hi, my name is Serena, and I'm from JFK High School. So my project is on volunteerism, and I'm part of a lot of different clubs in school, and I noticed that there is one specific group that is being overlooked when we are doing donations and fundraisers and things. And as the Garden State, I think that it's really important to address this group, and that group are farmers. And I think farmers are, obviously a really important part of our lives because they are the ones giving us food. But they're not often given that appreciation and value that they deserve. As a similar way, as I left school this morning, I don't think I ever actually thanked my mom for making me breakfast. And so I think it's a similar way that we should be able to give value to our farmers. So I think one way to really show students and children the importance of farmers is to have like twice a month going to local farms in New Jersey and maybe working on farms, whether that's managing their farm vehicles, working with farm animals, working in the crops, or even helping with delivery and some of like the more delivery aspects of those could really help students engage with farms and also bring value and appreciation to farmers. And it's also a really good way to get outside and get your hands dirty, which is something a lot of my generation doesn't really do often. So I think if this program were to be implemented once or twice a month, depending on like the school's availability, it would be a really great way to get involved with our community and our community's farmers. So yeah, thank you.
Wow, that's great. I never heard that one before. That's, you do forget about the farmers. And you're right, we are the Garden State. That's, no, that's great. Yeah, excellent. All right, so is anybody here on the directors?
I think we're okay. I think I'm going to, if you're okay, if you have any other questions, council, I'm going to adjourn the meeting. These folks have a busy day to get back to and have to run the township while you guys are approving what we put before you. So if you could, we're going to dismiss the directors, and I think Mr. Molnar is going to hand out some proclamations.
Yeah. Benjamin? The mayor's not coming back?
No, he's coming back from later.
Oh, okay.
He said just to be.
Okay. Angelise? Ms. Beth? Forgive me if I say your name wrong. Johnny? Liana? Serena? Stick up there. Lashana? Gracie? Jake? And Sophia. All right, so like I said, great job on your projects. You know, I'll just say real quick, you guys are the future. You know, we're going to be looking at you. You're the next generation coming up. We'll get into a little bit about local government in a few. If you guys want to take a break.